that he manifests and remind himself that he's connected to God, right? He's obligated to God. And then he said tefillin is even a greater thing, because tefillin is the actual kind of holiness of God that a person connects with and brings down upon himself. And then he went into so how come on Shabbos and Yom Tov you don't have to wear tefillin? He says because Shabbos and Yom Tov are so holy by themselves that even much higher than, so tzitzis is great. Tefillin is even much higher than tzitzis, but Yom Tov and Shabbos is even much higher than tefillin. That you're plugged in, so plugged in that tefillin is unnecessary, right? Good. Now he comes back to the Seder Hayom, right? Okay, that's where we are. Test, right? Could be we finished this paragraph, but let's do it again. Now that a person is marked with tzitzis and crowned with tefillin, there was instituted for him the orders of tefillah, to institute, to rectify as is necessary. And what's the general kavana of rectification is lahamed abriya kula, in order to arrange the entire creation into its proper state, in such a way that they should be zoicha, they should kind of be worthy to bring down this lofty shafa. And to bring down the shafa is to bring down the shafa as is necessary. Right? So this is what we pointed out also last time, that this is the language is different here than the language when he spoke about tefillah originally. Right? Over here, this is the way we would have said tefillah should be. Bring down, what was the purpose of tefillah? Bring down the shafa, right? And over there, he was focusing more on tefillah being a prerequisite for the shafa to come down. Over here, it seems like the tefillah is bringing down the shafa. Right? Over there, it was, listen, you're so dark, you're in such a dark place, so let me give you prayer. Prayer will keep you from falling down all the way deep. If you remember those ways, right? So we just answered last week that when there is the concept of prayer unto itself, right? And then there's the concept of prayer as it is part of the daily service. So over there in the previous chapters, he was looking at the prayer unto itself. Now he's talking about the way the Chachamim kind of envisioned the full potential of prayer as it is set up in our daily avodah of towards Hashem. Okay, so let's see. Yud. Now, the totality of tefillah is divided into 4 sections, right? Harishon, hakarbonos. The first one is hakarbonos. Hasheni, psuki de zimra. The second one is the verses of song, psuki de zimra. Hashlishi, kriya shma, ubirchos el. The third section is the recitation of Shema and the Shema blessings. V'arivi hatfila, the tefillah, the Shemona Esrei, umashila achareha, and whatever follows it. Okay, right. So this is I'm saying just a basic. A lot of people, certainly younger people, they kind of tend to skip over the karbonos section. Doesn't seem necessary. And according to his setup, karbonos is going to be, part of the train. You take away that piece of the train, and the whole train gets derailed. So let's see. Hakarbonos. What's the purpose of hakarbonos? Hakavona bahem bechlal. The general intent over here. Hu letaher ha'olam kuloi, to purify the world. Ulahaser mimenu kol mashehu ikuv, and to take away from it anything that prevents it. Umenia, and holds back el bias hashefa elyon, from this shefa coming down. Right? So in other words, clean up the backyard. right? So karbonis is clean up the backyard, right? Again, you could have argued, right? Because generally, when we think of karbonis, what does the word karbonis means? Karav, come close to Hashem, right? Sacrifices are great avoida, right? But that's true in its, again, maybe onto itself, but the way it is misak, placed in our Seder HaTfilah, karbonis is just the kind of the preparatory stage of removing the animalistic, so to speak, from ourselves, right? Or it begins with, what does it begin with? Trumas HaDeshen, right? Cleansing of the deshen with the washing of the hands, and then it goes into korban tamid and etc. Right? But seemingly, it's according to this idea, it's more about kind of taking away the ugliness of the physical world.
We're wiping the lens so that the shine and the light could shine.
Right. It's not polishing the lens, perhaps, but it's just removing the dirt from the lens.
Right, wiping it.
That's the psuki de zimra. Then we have psuki de zimra. Kavana behem bechlal. The intent generally is legalois or ponav yizbarach, to reveal the light of Hashem's countenance. Al yidei hatehilois, via the praises shonim mishalim boy, that we are praising Him with, umisaprim b'shvocha, and are speaking in His praise. Right. In other words, now that we elevate, not we elevate, but we speak of Hashem in elevated terms, is that reveals, kind of brings Hashem into the world. It doesn't necessarily perhaps bring down the shefa, but it now kind of, I don't know how to say it, but it's the second step of the preparatory stage. The first step is removal of the dirt. This is the one that opens the light, or I don't know exactly, but brings the light in. This is, again, you see here that he also doesn't have clear words of how to describe it, but he just says this is not the idea, but this is the consequences that Hashem connected to this action. Right? So in other words, why does he need that sentence? This is the consequence that Hashem connected to this action, meaning that it's not that, what I'm saying is that there is an intrinsic, what's the word? I don't know how to say it. There's an intrinsic consequence, right? Meaning it's understood that Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, decreeing Hashem being one, you're bringing the oneness of Hashem out into the world. Okay. You don't have to, he doesn't have to say a sentence like, this is the consequence that Hashem attached to this type of action, because it's in the action. It's in the action, that's what you're doing, right? By him adding over here the sentence that this is the consequences that Hashem connected to this action, that through the psuki de zimra, there will be some revelation of Hashem's countenance, clearly, so that that's not necessarily, A to B direct, right? It's more like a choik type of a thing. Hashem said, do this, and this will come. Even though you could have said, what do you mean? You're praising Hashem, praising God will bring out, it's Kiddush Hashem, so to speak. You're bringing godliness into the world by praising God. So it does seem to be A to B. But, something is not, I don't know how to say it, but something is not direct. And that's what we're saying, that Hashem chose B'shirei Zimra in the songs of Zimra. Now, just this, I don't know, it's a side point if he intends this or not. There is really another element of this. The word Zimra has two meanings, right? Okay. Mizmor means a song, right? Mm-hmm. And Zmoira also means pruning, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Where do we have this? That Zmoira means pruning. Where do we have it? I forgot. Okay, anyways, Zmora means pruning. Okay, right now I don't have the lashon of the Mishnah or the Brisa, and that'll give me Beitza, but okay, Zmora means pruning. Okay, so there is, so they're kind of opposites. Seemingly, they seem to be opposites. Meaning, song of praise is something positive. Pruning is something negative. It's taking away the
weed.
Right. The dry branches, the weeds, the spoiled branches, right? You're taking away things that are preventing growth, right? Which seems to be more connected to the carbonis, the way he calls it, right? To purify the world of the. Okay, so I don't know, but anyways, there's different ideas that those two things are connected, right? That's why specifically there's a transition between carbonis and psuke de zimra is mizmor shir chanukas habayis, right? Specifically with the word mizmor, and then habocher b'shirei zimra. There's more to it. Don't forget, there's a mimer from Pachad Yitzchak that talks about why specifically the Leviim were the singers of the Beis Hamikdash, Leviim, which are more representative of Koyach Adin, the judgment, while the Kahanim are more representative of Koyach Chesed. And so the Leviim, they sing. And the Leviim also, they are the buffer zone between the Kahanim and the Mikdash, and they pack up the Mishkan before, there's all these things are connected, which I don't have right now clarity on how to verbalize it, but okay, moving on. Okay, so Kriya Shema Birchaseha. Then the third section is Kriya Shema and its blessing. Okay, now he goes into let's see, I'm not sure. Okay, Kvar be'arnu inyono b'chlal. Now I already explained to you the idea of Kriya Shema and its blessings, right? So Kriya Shema, we had a whole arichus, and the blessings. What did he say about the blessings? Do you remember what he said about the blessings? Basically, he said that the blessings are just a way to enhance the ideas of the Kriya Shema. Right? Day and night, that Baruch Hu runs over day and night, and then Yitzias Mitzrayim, right?
The further strength.
Right? That everything is renewed every day. All those things. So that's it. It seems like an expansion of the ideas of Kriya Shema. Okay? Right? Okay, an expansion of ideas of Kriya Shema. Good. Okay, now he says, Umilvad Mashabi'arnu. Now, besides what we explained back there, right, of day and night, and Hashem's providence, and daily renewal, and Yitzias Mitzrayim, and Geula, and sleep at night, all of those things. Nichlal Bahem Oid Inyan Acher. There's another element in the blessings of Kriya Shema once they're put into this kind of framework. Behu, Ki Inyan Koininiyut Habriya, the idea of arranging the foundation of the creation and its hishtalshlus, its linkage. We already explained in the first section that the entire creation is like a chain of events from the root transcendental roots, right, all the way down to the physical world. Now the great wisdom decreed that all of the creations should, I don't know if it means through this system, but should receive Hashem's shefa. Every being needs to receive Hashem's shefa. But first, in order to receive this shefa, they need to attach themselves to the linkage from the bottom towards the going up, right? Hatachtoinim b'elyonim, mehem, the lower ones have to attach themselves to the higher ones. B'elyonim b'elyonim, and the higher ones to the ones higher yoiser. V'chein al derech zeh ad hakoyches hashroshim. Everybody attaches itself to the level up until they reconnect to the shroshim ha'elyonim. V'hem yitolu bois barach. And the Shoshim, the transcendental forces, the transcendental roots, they attach to Hashem Himself. The Yush Balahem Shifa, and He then bestows, His Shefa. The Acharkach, and afterwards, is Pashit Hashefa Melmala Lamata Bechol Madreges Abriya Karoi. And then now, right, so it goes up, attachment, plug in, right, plug, and then cascade down. Cascade down. Good. V'yoshuvu v'yisyatzvu kulam al madregoisehem lepolam, and they are all then return to their state, and to their activity. Kifimasha sudor lehem, what was arranged for them. V'ulam habracha se'elish l'kriyas shma sidru al pi harozim ha'ela. Now these blessings of Kriya Shema, the Chachamim arranged upon these secrets. U'bu'oisoi hashevach v'hahilul, and therefore as a result of these praises that are included in the brachas of Kriya Shema, misalois madregeis habriya milmata l'mayla, the entire creation goes up and attaches itself to the section above it. Until it can possibly attach to the level that is uppermost. And then everything is attached and connected to God, to God's light. And then the shefa can then be brought down to all of the creations. And this is what is done through the Tefillah Shemini Esrei. So he doesn't explain it. I mean, he just says it, but he doesn't explain it.
So the brachas enhance the smooth transition.
So let me just hold on. Let me just bring. Second. Just to find this. Yeah. Okay. Where's that Rashi? You know, Rashi that says that about being connecting Gula with Tefillah. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like his friend who comes on his door, and knocks on his door, and opens the door. Or a poor person comes on his door, knocks on his door, he doesn't wait. The king opens the door, and the poor person is not there. You know what the Rashi is?
You mentioned it once.
Can't locate it right now for some reason. I don't know. Sorry. Okay. I'll just. I think it's this Ramel, but something is not. Okay, let's keep going. Where were we?
So he spoke of the brachos.
Right. So let's get back into this. So is the way that he's painting the picture is, right? So we have karbonos, we have psuki de zimra. The purpose of those is to are more preparatory, right? More preparatory. Then you have brichas kriyashma, which is the actual ladder, where you start climbing up. Once you climb up, and you get to the level of tefillah, the tefillah is easy. The tefillah is already just naturally just comes down. The shefa just comes down. You're just like, basically the tefillah is request, right? What is tefillah? What is our Shemon Esrei? Hashem, give me this, give me that, give us this, give us that, right? Right? Meaning, how do you ask? Why do you ask? Because at this point, you don't have to do much. You just have to say, you're up there. The shefa is ready to shower you. You just have to direct it. For parnasa, for Torah, for refuah, for whatever you want. But the main job was done really in Kriya Shema and Berchaseha. Right? You got the preparatory state, groundwork was laid down by your karbonis and Sukkot Zimra, and by Kriya Shema and the brachas, you really reconnected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to this Shroshim Elyonim. You plugged in yourself from the bottom to all the way to the Shroshim Elyonim. Then you plugged in the Shroshim Elyonim into the the Shechina, whatever it is, and then now it's ready to come down. Okay, but there's a beautiful language that I can't right now locate over here. Okay, let's keep going. Yud Aleph. V'hinei tzarech sheteda shesugei ha'ashpo ha'elyoina. Now you need to know that the types of this lofty hashpo shtachteo nichlolim kol minei hashpos upratehem, which are under which all of the other sub hashpos are what's the word, included in them. Heim shloisha, there are three. Okay, vehem nirmozim b'sholish oisis Hashem baruch hu, and they are what's the word, hinted, that they are signified in the three letters of Hashem's name. The first three letters of Hashem's name, each letter represents a different hashpah. V'chiburam b'yachad l'hashlomas ha'briya kula, and their connectedness, right, and bringing the unification, their unification for the perfection of the entire creation, nirmaz b'hei ha'acharoina. It is signified by the fourth letter hey of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Okay, ukinegdam, in parallel to these three letters, shloisha hakinuyim, we have the three praises of Hashem: Hagodol, Hagibor, V'Hanoira. Great, what's the word? Powerful and awesome. V'Hamamshich Oisam Karoi, and somebody who brings them down or pulls them down appropriately, whose chusom shall Avram, Yitzchak, veYaakov. I'm sorry, and the tool to bring them down is the merit of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. V'amamshich ha'hashlomo, but somebody who brings down the completion, hayotzis michiburim, that results when they are united together, whose chusay shall David HaMelech olav hashalom, is the merit of David HaMelech olav hashalom. Right? So, David is Malchus. David represents the unified force that unites Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Avram is Keneged Godol, Yitzchak is Keneged Gibor, Yaakov is Keneged Noira, right? And so these are the three main hashpos that Hashem brings down, signified by Yud Kei Vav. And David the Melech connects to the fathers, right? So we have four fathers, that famous joke, right? The four fathers, I thought there were three fathers, right? So the answer is no, there really are four fathers, meaning David the Melech is the fourth father. V'hinei, let's see, v'hinei keneged shloisha hasugim ha'ele, niskenu sholosh brachos harishonos shel tefillah. right? So parallel to these three hashpois of Yud Kei Vav Kei, you have the institution of the first three brachas of the tefillah, right? Mogen Avraham Mechayim Meisim Atakadosh. Ubehem Nimshach Hashefa Elyon Bechlal. So via those three blessings, you get the totality of the Shefa Elyon, and it's brought down in its entirety. And then afterwards, B'Emtois, in the middle blessings, Nimshach Leprotim Kifiyat Tzorech. Then you bring down the sub, right? So in other words, the first three blessings, right? You're up there in that level of connectedness, and you bring down first these main three categories of hashpah through the first three blessings. They're not specific, and then they're more expressed and specified in the middle 12 blessings, 13 really blessings. Kifiyat tzarech. What's 12 divided by 3 would be what?
4.
Would be 4. So then it technically should work out if it's mathematical. Then there should be 4 blessings in the middle per each of the 3. Right? Can it work out like that? Is it like that? I'm not sure. I don't know. And then what's with the 3 final blessings? Mischazek u'misyashev b'mekablim. They are the shefa has been received, so now it's just strengthened and settled in the recipients. Alidei ha'haidah, as a result of the thanks, shenoisnim oilov, the appreciation and the thanks that they give for what they received from Hashem. V'zeh klal tikun atfilah kula, and that is basically the entire picture of the Shemon Esrei, right? So where is David the Melech in the Shemon Esrei?
In the regular Shemon Esrei.
Right. So I said before, what I said before was wrong. Clearly, it's wrong. Meaning he says that the hashpah is divided into 3 parts, right? And David the Melech is the part that unites the 3 hashpahs, right? Then he said that the first 3 blessings are Avram Yitzchak Yaakov, right? And then the next 13 blessings is Avram Yitzchak Yaakov delineated into details. So where's David the Melech? What happened to David the Melech?
Yeah.
And we have David the Melech, right? There's 2 blessings, you could say. Well, there's 1 blessing that's dedicated for David the Melech, but Es Tzemach David Avdecha, right? Yerushalayim. Now, there's some debate and discussion as to why we needed 2 blessings for technically what's one thing. Yerushalayim Ircha Barachem Yitashuv, right? Return. What does it say? Yerushalayim Ircha Barachem Yitashuv. V'sishkoim b'sochek asher dibarta, right? Uvnei oisa b'korov b'yameinu b'nyano v'kisei David meheira l'soicha dochen. So that blessing already ends off with the words that the throne of David you should return to Yerushalayim, right? And then we have another blessing that says as tzemach David avdecha me'eretz hatzmiach, and again about King David, right? It doesn't seem right. We could have just all encompassed into one blessing. Right, and so what's Shema Kaleinu? Where does that come in? Meaning, sounds like, right? If you take away Shema Kaleinu, then David comes towards the end, the conclusion of the middle blessings, and maybe then you could say it fits. And then Shema Kaleinu is what? It's just a general. What? Open-ended, right? So then, if you look at it that way, then tzaddikim, it would be the last. Where does it go? Right. If you look at it that way, let's go through the blessings. What's the first one? After the 3, what's the first one? The first one is tshuva, right? The next one is forgiveness. Then is geula. Are these supposed to be related to Avram Yitzchak Yaakov somehow? Then the refuah, then parnasa. I mean, kibbutz golias. And it doesn't. I mean, I don't know if it's mathematical like that. I'm not sure if it's it's A to A, B to B. I don't know. Is it supposed to work like that?
It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
What? That's what you would say?
Mm.
Let's see. Let's see if that works out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's see. So you got the first one. What did I say? Tshuva. That's not for tshuva. First is das, or it's called bina.
Yeah, so Avram.
Then Avram is das.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Then you got tshuva. Let's say that's Yitzchak. Then you got slicha. That's Yaakov. Then you have geula, refuah, and parnasa. So geula would be Avram. Then refuah would be Yitzchak, and then parnasa would be Yaakov. Then you have tkaba shofar gadol. Again, kibbutz golias. Then you have din, which would work out with Yitzchak.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Lamel Shinim, which
No,
perhaps
that's
it's an extra that doesn't count. That was added.
that's-
So that's part of Yitzchak. Then you have Tzadikim, that's Yaakov. That works out. So that works out beautifully, according to you, actually. And then you have Yerushalayim, Es Tzemach, Shma Kaleinu. The next three, the concluding three, are all David the Melech. Perhaps. Or so maybe also again, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And David is just the totality of the whole thing. The whole Shemon Esrei really is David the Melech, probably. The whole Shemon Esrei is David the Melech. Is the fabric, the whole fabric of Shemon Esrei probably is David the Melech. Okay, because it's the platform upon which the Shefa of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov is brought down. I don't know. Again, things that we don't fully understand. Okay. Okay, let's just do one more, this last paragraph, and then we'll leave the rest for later. Okay, ve'ulam b'yimos hachol, and however, in the days of the chol, day of the weekday, nimshach hadover k'fi seder hazeh, we get this organization, right? In other words, the three Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and then the middle blessings of requests that are details of the three hashpahs. U'b'yimos hakodesh, but in the days of the that are holy, in other words, Shabbos and Yom Tov, lo yatrichu chachamim es odem b'yoser mishal brachos. The chachamim, the sages, did not request you to do more than 7 blessings. Ki hine hayom mukdash mevorach be'atzmai, because the day in itself is already mukdash, mekudash, and mevorach. It's already holy and blessed. Ve'ikadesh ve'vorach, right? Ve'oizer b'amshachas hashefa, and it naturally assists in bringing down the shefa. V'dai she'ishtadel hodam al klal. So it's just enough to focus on the general. V'hainu sheva brachos. In other words, the 7 blessings. You don't need to go into specifics of the shefa. You just need to focus on the totality of the shefa. Sholosh rishonos al shloisha hasugim. The 3 first blessings that are divided into the 3 types of shefa. V'chen sholosh acharonos. But you have to put in the 3 last ones, right? Because those are the ones that help the shefa settle down in general. V'hamtzoyos, and the middle blessings, which during the week provide the details, al klal kedusha sayoim. So the only thing that we need to focus on is the holiness of the day, because the day itself is holy and assists in bringing down the shefa. Shetzis chazek v'toyer v'timshol. Let the day kind of do its thing, that it should strengthen and bring light and bring dominance. V'hi ha'izerus umashlemes l'chol hapratim. The day itself helps arrange things in for all the details. We'll further speak about this in Siyat Tishmaya. So it's interesting, even though you would have said that the day helps you in what? In strengthening the shefa and getting bigger shefa, right? The day helps you in the klal. I wouldn't have said that the day helps you in the prat. If anything, on Shabbos and Yom Tov, that's when you got to pray for the details. Now that you have such a connection, so you should focus on the details. Let's work the details out. And he says no. I mean, he's forced to say, but he's still. He's saying no. The details the Yom Tov and the Shabbos helps you with the details, with the application, with the and then, so that I don't think I understand that. Why on Shabbos shouldn't it be asking for parnasa? So the day is holy. So what?
Because court's closed.
That's you're saying this. That's not question. Is that's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, right? It says the day itself is holy and blessed. It assists in bringing down in pulling down the shafa, and it's enough to it says v'dai. It says enough that you should put an effort on the general. I know it's enough, but let's say I want to do more. Let's say I want to do more. Sounds like you could. Maybe according to, there's a machlokes really about that. And now that I think about it, there's a machlokes about that, right? Whether or not it's forbidden to, meaning, is it a problem, right? That's what the article tells you in every step of the way. On Shabbos and Yom Tov, we omit, right? Did you see by Karbonos? Right? There's a request at the end of each Karban, right? The Hirotzon, right? And the article says, некоторые авторитеты считают, что следующий текст до раздела Врева следует, в иных общинах следующую просьбу опускают по субботам и праздникам. Right? So it's a question is, do we have to omit the requests? Right? We are allowed to omit the requests because we want to in other words, what to me it sounds like it's I don't know if that's a good example, but basically you're getting married, right? Such a beautiful holy day. It's such a day full of love. And now you want to discuss the prenup, right? Or you want to discuss the particulars, details. Like it takes away from the simcha, right? Not that it's technically, of course, it's a holier day. So you could say, let's direct the shefa to the parnasa. Let's direct the shefa to the gula. Let's direct the shefa to, right? But discussing particulars on a holy day takes away from its romance, so to speak, right? When you're so deeply connected and it's just pure love, and you're going to start focusing on the particulars, it's not appropriate, right? That's what he's saying. It's enough that you focus on the big questions, on the relationship itself, on the big, right? And let the big shefa come down. Don't sit there focusing on, okay, I need parnasa, I need refuah, I need whatever, all the things that we need, right? That's not the time. You could do more by strengthening the relationship, and on Monday you'll ask for the particulars. That's the way his approach feels. Okay, all right.